Moving on from Matt Canada is going to be a major operation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hello, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate with me, your host, Britsburgh, Owen, speaking to you here in the UK. Well, guys, it's the bye week, so we can put away our heart medication, we can put away our defibrillators, we can put away all our blood pressure medicine. We are going to be safe tomorrow. There will be no heart attacks. There will be no disappointment either. No Steelers football, which I suppose that's the one positive of it, isn't it? Obviously, we all love to see Steelers football, but the one big positive, obviously, is the fact that none of us need to have any heart palpitations tomorrow on Sunday. Well, if you've just found the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, guys, we are a fan-based channel run by myself, Britsburgh Owen here in the UK, and by my good buddy Mark Davison, Steelers Nation Australia, man from down under. Again, both of us put out daily content. We're a fan-based channel. Hit that sub, ring the notification bell if you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and you want great content. And even more good news is we've got another person maybe joining us later on. Keep your eyes peeled. So, why would moving on from Matt Canada be a major operation for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And have they over-invested in Matt Canada? That's the question I'm going to discuss with you today. Now, when Coach Tomlin made the announcement on Wednesday that there would be no coordinator changes and no coaching changes during this bye week, it went against a lot of the rumours that were going round. Obviously, in things like I read in Sports Illustrated and a number of Steelers websites, that there was a rumour going around that Canada would be relieved of his duties this week after another struggle in Philadelphia. However, Coach Tomlin, when asked directly, would there be a change, he said no. So Matt Canada was safe. He obviously spoke to the media as well, Matt Canada, in his usual indomitable style, and said very little in all the time that he was speaking to the media. But why is it going to be a major operation? Well, let's have a look at the offensive coaching staff for a minute, and then I'm going to tell you why this offensive coaching staff under Canada could be a reason why he is safe. Now, hang on for that. It's coming soon. So obviously we know that Matt Canada's the OC. Quarterbacks coach is Mike Sullivan, who has got offensive coordinator experience with the New York Giants. Assistant QB coach is David Corley Jr. Running back coach is Eddie Faulkner. Wide receiver coach is Frisman Jackson. Assistant wide receivers coach is Blaine Stewart. Tight end coach is Alfredo Roberts. Offensive line coach is Pat Mayer. Assistant offensive line is Isaac Williams. And quality control, whatever that means, is Matt Tomshow. Okay, so that's the coaching staff. Now, a number of those guys are what I would call Canada guys. They are guys who are loyalists to Matt Canada, and there is a real core of Canada's supporters, of Canada allies, of Canada's men within that offensive coaching staff. And that would have made it exceptionally hard to move on from Canada during this bye week, because you've got position coaches who are wholly invested in the Canada system, in Matt Canada's way of working, in Matt Canada's way of doing things, because they have worked with him previously. They have come up through and used his system, and that's what they are used to. Now, taking out Canada would have led to a situation where, okay, Mike Sullivan moves up, tries to change things. He's working against these coaches who are Canada's coaches. Or you bring in someone from outside the organization, again, who is trying to introduce something new. And at this stage of the season, can you really introduce anything new, especially when you've got position coaches underneath you that are so loyal to the previous offensive coordinator? What do you mean by that, Owen? I hear you ask. Well, let's have a little look, shall we, at some of these coaches. And I'll tell you a little bit why we have a situation that we do. Let's take Eddie Faulkner, for example, the running back coach, the guy who coaches Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, and allegedly Benny Snell as well. Not that we've seen him run the ball this year. Well, did you know that Eddie Faulkner was with Canada at Northern Illinois in 2011? He then was with him at Wisconsin in 2012. He then served again with Canada at NC State between 2013 and 2015. So to be precise, between 2011 and 2015, Eddie Faulkner, the running backs coach, worked with and for Matt Canada. And there's more guys. The wide receiver coach, Frisman Jackson, who Canada wanted appointed this summer after they moved on from, I think it was like Hilliard, the previous wide receivers coach. Frisman Jackson was an appointee of Matt Canada. Why? Because Frisman Jackson was with Matt Canada at NC State between 2013 and 2015. So Jackson is another Canada man. In addition to that, tight ends coach Alfredo Roberts has also worked with Matt Canada previously. So 3 out of the 4 main position coaches are all Canada's guys. They have worked with Matt Canada. They have invested time with Matt Canada. They are Matt Canada's men. Taking out Canada would have left you with 3 position coaches out of the 4 main ones, Mike Sullivan being the odd one out, who have worked for and under and with the Canada system previously and are invested in that system. Now, could you have sacked all of them? No. How are you going to sack all of them? You sack 5, sack 3 position coaches and an offensive coordinator. You can't promote from within. There isn't enough coaches to promote from within. How do you go out and get people to replace these guys? And that is a major problem the Steelers would have faced. It's also not the Steeler way, which I'm sick to death of. And I think it's time this franchise realized it is not 1972. It is, in fact, 2022. And it modernized and moved forward, invested time, money, and effort into picking its coaches rather than going for the cheap option all the time. In addition to that, Mike Tomlin kind of owes Matt Canada. What do I mean by this? Well, I'll tell you why. Mike Tomlin's son, Dino Tomlin, started his college career at Maryland. Who was the offensive coordinator at Maryland who recruited Dino Tomlin? Matt Canada. Matt Canada gave Dino Tomlin a scholarship as well at Maryland. Anything adding up here? Tomlin owes Canada. Strangely enough, after Matt Canada left Maryland, Dino Tomlin transferred to Boston College because Canada had gone from Maryland. So there's a link there as well. Tomlin owes Canada. That is possibly another reason why we are still stuck with Matt Canada at this stage of the season. Yes, I hear the arguments about, you can't change coordinators within seasons. Or the teams have done it, and the teams will continue to do it. Teams that have a modern outlook on the NFL have a more realistic outlook of what it is to coach and win in professional sports in the 21st century. 21st century professional sports is a what have you done for me lately type setup. Right or wrong, I don't know. It's up to you to discuss that, whether that's right or wrong. But in all professional sports now, coaches, position coaches, coordinators are sacked at the drop of a hat when poor form comes. And that's something the Steelers, I think, are going to have to learn to adapt to in the future. Well, Steeler Nation, let me know what you think in the comments below of this evidence that I've laid out before you as to why Matt Canada still has a job. And remember, if you've just found our Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, you like that content, hit that sub, ring that notification bell, and come and join the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate family. Here we go, Steelers. Come on.